Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Empress Aries 88. My name is Tanya. But please like on the way in. It gives me an energetic donation to the channel, helps me tune into you. Flip the roles as you see fit. Take what resonates and leave the rest. And let's call in spirit. Let's get this party started, shall we? Spirit guides and angels, or what is light. Please give me a clear message for the collective. One that brings healing, hope, and understanding of their situation. Protect me as I open myself up to channel these messages and protect my beautiful collective. Well, this is like a really sad person that I'm channeling because I'm hearing the first song was, what is it? Here's looking at you, kid. Think of all the things we did. And it's like, weren't we like, just like Bogey and Nicole, starring in our own Late Late Show, sailing away to Key Largo. Here's looking at you. Yeah, that's the song that I was channeling, but then as I'm shuffling, attempting to what looks like meditation, but probably not, I'm hearing this other song, I Will Remember You, from Sarah McLachlan, and probably a lot of people know this song, but it's like the one where, what does it say? I will remember you. Will you remember me? Don't let your life pass you by. Weep not for the memory. I love that song, but it's like the lyrics, I remember the good times that we had. I let them slip away from us when things got bad. How clearly I first saw you smiling in the sun. When I feel your warmth upon me, I want to be the one. Then the lyrics, I will remember you. The next verse, I'm so tired, but I can't sleep, standing on the edge of something much too deep. It's funny how we feel so much, but cannot say a word. We're screaming inside, oh, we can't be heard. So afraid to love you, but more afraid to lose, clinging to a past that doesn't let me choose. Where once there was a darkness, a deep and endless night, you gave me everything you had. Oh, you gave me life, and I will remember you. Weep not for the memories. Oh my God, it's gonna make me cry, man. This is like so sad. But this is how this person's feeling. This person's feeling super sad because they let something slip away because of a past that couldn't let them choose. There is something so profound about that. It's like past childhood traumas is a real thing, friends, a real thing. When a person isn't healed, how are they going to love you? You had a light, like that candle that's burning in that picture that you're seeing in front of you. And it guided their life. But then it was also, I want to say it like negatively, but suffocating them. It was like, it was too much. And I'm not saying you're too much. Maybe that's what they're saying to people. But it wasn't about like the smothering nature or the loving nature. It was the fact that this person wasn't healed and couldn't handle it. So even if it was somebody else that gave them everything that you couldn't give them, they still wouldn't be satisfied because it's the inner person that makes them dissatisfied. It has nothing to do with the other person. So, collective readings, flip the roles, timeless readings, take what resonates. Let's go. Spirit, give me something on this, please, and thank you. But this person, if you thought that they didn't care, if you thought that this person moved on without even looking back, you would be wrong. They are remembering you, and they are fondly remembering you. Even if what they say on the outside to other people is negative, that's not how they feel. They're only fooling themselves, because the people that they're saying that stuff to, they may laugh, they may listen, they may add to it, but they know this person isn't honest about what they're saying. But they were afraid to love you. They were afraid to give you any validation. Maybe they even said, "Oh, stop! You're too much. You don't have to always be on me all the time. You don't have to always be hugging me." Or then they turned it on you. Why you always like constantly have to be with me all the time? Like I can't. Like you don't trust me. It's like they turned the tables on you with this. They turned the tables. Made you the villain. Made you the person that was controlling or suffocating. Is what I'm hearing. Suffocating. When really they would do anything right now for you to suffocate them. In fact, they're suffocating really with the memory that they can't handle, the love that they realize that they didn't reciprocate, that they just fed off of and didn't appreciate until it's gone. Brace within the chaos. Yep. There was a lot of chaos in this person's life, a lot of demons that this person maybe didn't share with you. They might have shared some of it with you, maybe even presented themselves as healed and cool and okay with the past, but they were haunted by the past. Accepting life's complexities, the seduction of distraction. They might have distracted themselves from these deep inner wounds that they had with alcohol or drug addiction or some addictive behaviors like sex, like multiple partners. But it never satisfied the whole. It never satisfied the cut, the wound that never healed inside of them. Because it was never meant to do that. It's a distraction. It wasn't healing. It was bandaging up the problem, trying to stop the bleed. They never felt good enough. And that was fostered in childhood. And I'm not the kind of person, that likes to stand here and blame parents and everything for everything, because I feel like, there is a certain aspect of that could be true, nature versus nurture. We're not going to go into this. This is tarot readings. But what I'm trying to say to you, and I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychiatrist, and I don't pretend to be. What I'm saying to you is that from my own experience, I can only speak from my own experiences and the people that were around me. And what I'm saying is that it's a real thing to feel. I mean, I don't know about this hugging the inner child, trying to get to the inner child, like telepathically, whatever. I mean, that there could be some validity to it, but when you're wounded from childhood, those tapes don't stop just because it's over. And people could say, well, get over it, suck it up, whatever. Unless you have, and maybe people have gone through it and that's how they deal with stuff. But the unfortunate thing about that is, as good as that advice is, it doesn't work. Because somewhere, somehow, that wound's going to leak, that hurt, that pain is going to come out in other avenues of your life, and it's going to get projected somewhere else. You may think that you've buried it, and maybe you have. But the body and the mind has a funny way of, just when you least expect it, resurfacing that wound, because you have to deal with it. And maybe what will happen is, with the universe, is that they will present you with people similar to the ones that hurt you, or a triggering moment where it brings that up, where it sounds familiar or it looks familiar. You get that fight or flight. So there could have been something, knowingly or unknowingly, that you said that might have triggered this person into that going deep within themselves, and maybe even ghosting you, or maybe even ignoring you, or starting to pull away from you. And I'm not saying it's all your fault, but that does take two to tango. And two toxic people, and toxic meaning people who are hurt, who come from backgrounds that are similar. It all sounds great, trauma bonds, or we come from similar backgrounds where there's so much in common. Nobody wants that in common. Both been child abused, we've both been put through the ringer, we've both been screwed over, abandoned, whatever the case. And two people going through similarities may sound cool in the beginning, but all those old wounds are going to start being almost like projected or projectiles onto each other. And that might have happened in this situation. It was like chaos, controlled, trying to make sense of it, maybe even understanding it, because if you were raised in a violent environment, or an environment that was trigger happy like that, where one minute was happy, the next minute it was like scary, you understand this. Understand the life that you were living was very similar. It's like you're repeating the patterns of the past. Maybe you didn't even realize that you were doing that. Saying things that were similar to trigger each other. Who's going to win? Who's going to control? Who's going to run this town tonight? And it's a big fight. Start a war all of a sudden with a single word. And then you come back to each other, and it's like break up to make up, or fight to make up, and it's the cycle starts again. Maybe even go through therapy, see a doctor, start taking medication. But it only masks the problem. It doesn't open that wound again to let it bleed out, to let out the pus, clean out the wound, and try to properly bandage it so that it heals. That didn't happen in this case. It became like almost a runner-chaser dynamic. They're trying to run away from the issues that you had in your relationship, and you're trying to face them, but in a toxic way, almost confrontational. To a person who's avoidant, doesn't want to deal with their problems, has stuffed them deep down. Do they really want to be confronted by everything they're saying and doing is wrong? No. No. So inevitably it became real toxic, real fast, real disappointing, real quick on both ends. And you tried to make it work, but if you are not healing, not recognizing that you need healing, how can you make something work? This and that are true. Open-mindedness, perspective, nuances, and complexities, but it's in the reverse. So it's an avoidant situation as to what we need to work on. Maybe not even realizing there was anything that needed to be worked on. And even if you did, well, let's go for therapy. Where do you begin? Unpack that. Maybe one of you sits there and like throws everything that ever happened onto the table, and the other one sits silently like, I am not doing this. See what I mean? If that happens, how are you supposed to heal this? You can't. So, I mean, I feel like you got an awakening here. It says Epiphany, sing, adorn. So there was this awakening moment where a new direction you were taking. You took yourself into a new direction towards a potential situation, or they took themselves out of this relationship, maybe more than once, to pursue other avenues, thinking they could just find somebody that was easier to deal with and did not expect much from them. And could have done it while you were still in a relationship, not realizing they were doing it. Because they just wanted to forget. They don't want to remember. Maybe it's too painful. Maybe it makes them feel a certain sort of way about themselves. As I say, fell on the floor longing. Maybe they're longing for you in this separation time. It's like kind of weird because it's like as much as they wanted freedom, you were their world. Even in the toxicity and even in the problems, you were everything to this person. You were their comfort. Maybe they're looking at your pictures, remembering that they gave you mixed signals. Like I said, one minute they want you, and then, but if it's deeper than physical or surface, it becomes a problem. But you want more than that. You don't want to stay stuck in that kind of a dynamic. You've outgrown that. Maybe even healed your inner child, your inner wounds. But they're reflecting, they're looking back, looking at your pictures, looking back at maybe text messages, maybe even seeing the hot and cold that went on in the relationship. There's a lot of pressure on this person, maybe in the everyday, a lot of emotions this person is feeling, going back to the past, sitting there like vegging out, remembering you. There was a lot of chaos and confusion that the two of you, if you're honest, that the two of you contributed to the connection. Self-love is in the reverse. It's like there's a lot of, I wouldn't say hate, but I would say feeling disgusted with oneself. I feel like your person feels disgusted with themselves that they couldn't have made it work. There's no renewal in this connection. It's in the reverse. There's a lot of insecurities. Not balanced, not aligned, and not recognizing that they need to heal. It's like, I'm here to heal what? Heal the past that created the present. Recognize that or understand that everything that happens to us in life, it almost like sticks to us like a glue gun, like bedazzling yourself. And as you age and as you go through life, you get more and more bedazzled. So you're glowing and sparkling in the sunlight because you got all of this baggage, but it looks so pretty on the outside, right? Pretty little package, all fucked up inside. I feel like one of you or both of you are getting awakened to this. But one of you is awakening. The other one's stubborn, doesn't want to recognize it. I think it's your person. You really want to project your contribution to the ending, like what you did wrong, and play victim, distracting themselves. Yeah, but it's in the reverse. I feel like the distractions ain't working anymore for this person. It's just not. It's not enough anymore to blame you. It doesn't change anything. At the end of the day, they're still alone. The chemistry is no longer there. They recognize it. Maybe there's a lot of sorrow and grief. It's a loss. It's like a death. The relationship is over and it's like a death. It's like something that they have to mourn. And they're having a hard time doing that because you were the person they counted on. They counted on you to hold back the chaos, to, even if it got ugly with the two of you, that you would always be there. And that's not happening anymore. They're feeling trapped, stuck in situations and toxic cycles, right? Maybe even lusting after other people, trying to replace you. For karma, cause and effect, the ripple effect of the wounds that they have that never were dealt with and healed are just seeping out into the ether and creating chaos in their life. They never understood that until maybe they told you about their childhood and it sounded terrible even hearing it. But they never truly forgave whatever happened. They never truly went into the depths of it because it was scary. They were afraid at times. And they felt like, I'm an adult, I should be able to move forward. I'm no longer that child anymore. But that inner child, that person, that hurt person is still inside of you. The one who wished they were more nurtured and less afraid growing up. One who didn't feel good enough, deserving enough. Maybe they feel abandoned by you now. And I feel like that could be how they felt growing up, abandoned. Running, ghosting, disappearing. They could have done that in the past, but it's in the reverse. They don't want to do that anymore. They don't want to run from you. They feel like maybe you're running from them now. You're done with them, and they don't know how to handle that because you've been with them probably for a long time, and they feel like you were the one thing they could count on. And no matter how they talk to you, you'd always be there. And then until you weren't. That song, we were good, we were gold. Had a dream that can't be sold. We were right till we weren't. Had a dream, had a home, and watched it burn. Yeah, there you go. You didn't want to leave them. Just like the song says, I didn't want to leave you. I didn't want to leave you, baby. But you did. You had no choice. It was like there was nothing more that you could contribute to the relationship that would have made it any better. It was like this was like at the end of the road. And now you have these two different directions to go into. And maybe they left first. They took the turn in a different direction and you decided to not follow anymore. Maybe you've been following after this person for a long time. And that was something that you needed to learn in this lifetime, to not be so codependent or not be so, I don't know, like stuck on a person's opinions, validation, and moods. Like I said, you had a lot of trauma bonding and a lot of similarities, but where you were willing to unpack that, you were willing to dive deep into that cesspool and drain the swamp, as they say, your person keeps swimming in it. Sometimes floating, but doesn't want to recognize it. Maybe has a lot of ego and pride. Doesn't feel like they're the problem. Let's see. Challenges. Use your imagination. I feel like that they have, I don't know, I feel like your person hangs around with people similar that maybe validate that you were the problem. They're involved with other people. You might have a third party here. It might have encouraged them to kick you to the curb. Yeah. They've tried to move on, but the memory of you haunts this person, and they can't get over all of the memories that involve you, all the places, all the situations, everything, everywhere they go. Reminds them of you. Yeah, you were loyal to this person. You could have a dog. They could have a dog. This is a magical protector animal that protects you. Boy, a lot of cards want to come out, Spirit. It's time to become a leader, though. You have a mighty shield. So something's protecting you against maybe a toxic element here. Somebody that, I don't know, there's something here about the bad advice. Somebody, there might be a third party that knows about you or doesn't like you, gave bad advice, maybe is giving you bad energy, but you're protected. Spirit, give me a couple of cards, please. You're no longer in that environment. Maybe you feel better physically. King of Cups. Seven of Swords. Temperance. The Emperor. King of Swords. Page of Swords. Strength. Ace of Wands. Four of Wands. Yeah, there's like these ops. It's like competition. Seven of Swords. Dishonesty. Somebody was dishonest. Maybe cheating on you. There was a new perspective, balance that you needed to get, like a reality check. There's an Emperor here. Somebody that's reliable and dependable. Somebody who's using the head of their heart, the King of Swords. Maybe a truth is coming out. A Page of Swords. Somebody that talks too much. Somebody that's curious. Could be somebody immature, younger. Strength is here. You're overcoming challenges. Breakthroughs and inspiration, moving forward. Ace of Wands to new things. You're going to be celebrated. Four of Wands. Breakthroughs. Ace of Swords. New ideas. Realizing the truth, maybe. Two of Wands. Using your personal power and changing. Four of Cups. Yeah, they didn't see you. They didn't see the value of you, but they do now, because Three of Swords, they're brokenhearted. They have temptations, manipulations, and they're the devil energy that's here, vices. You have financial opportunities, and maybe they thought they had financial opportunities. Ten of Cups, inheritance, financial security, family. Maybe they were looking at it from a financial standpoint. They could find better somewhere outside of the situation. Justice is here, though, cause and effect. They're being controlled by their toxic ways in somebody else. Ten of Wands, they're being burdened. Maybe even taken for granted by people. Burnt out. There's an ending here in your relationship with this person. Maybe they're indulging. Three of Cups and like the third parties, and also indulging in other things like alcohol. You're hardworking, Knight of Coins. You're working hard here. And this person is just trying to forget you. You were a loving person. But I feel like it wasn't received in the way that you wanted it to be. Maybe they did show you affection, but it was more for their needs. But they created a lot of heartbreak in your life. You could be dependable. You could be guarded against this person. Nine of Swords. This person's depressed. They're impulsive too. Knight of Swords. Impulsive. Opinionated. There could be other people in their life like that. Impulsive, assertive, and opinionated. Knight of Cups. You're going to have your dreams come true. Things are going to happen for you. But it's walking away from this person. You're going to have success. The Sun is here. You love this person, but they were draining you. Yeah. They were draining you. You're going to take a leap of faith outside of this connection. Use your intuition. There's financial hardships your person's going through, soul searching, the hermit, separating themselves from other people, thinking about you, nostalgia here, Six of Cups. But this party and this indulgence, this devil energy, this looking for other people and situations to drown out the pain of their past, drown out the pain of you, trying to find you in versions of other people, but not quite making it there. Like it says, this and that is true. They ran away from the connection because they couldn't handle the questioning. They couldn't handle the triggering. When everything was going well, they were cool. But anytime you question them or try to elevate or heal, try to work out your problems together, they were like mute. They didn't want to deal with it. They went inward, maybe even ghosting you, silent treatments, that type of thing to make you stop. They didn't want to lose you, but they were more afraid to lose themselves. And they felt the more that time went by, that maybe there was more out there than you. That this was too hard and they wanted it easy. So that's what they did. But they only broke their own heart doing that because you were their heart. And now they have to pick up the pieces and move forward without you. And really, despite the fact that they've went all these years trying to hide from their past, tried to hide those wounds, that child that never quite was nurtured, that child that was broken inside, they're going to have to face that person now. They're going to have to face their past and move forward, maybe broken, never the same, but a survivor nonetheless. As we all have to do when we come from a childhood that's challenging childhood, let's put it that way. Thank you so much for joining me on Empress Aries 888. Please like and subscribe and join my tribe before before the next reading. Until next time, be safe out there, my friends. Be blessed.